Hi all, welcome to the quick overview on using the BlackBoard Gradebook. I just wanted to give a quick overview on using some of the Gradebook functions in BlackBoard Ultra. Particularly, I want to focus on how to use it as a weighted average and how to perhaps more easily manage the stuff from CSU Writes. You can see this is my English 101 course for spring 2025. And you can see it's broken down into modules. All right, so I have my quizzes, my course materials with all my in-class stuff. Then I have the CSU Writes modules. That is all the stuff that's replacing my writing lab. So I'm going to be using it fully for this semester as a significant part of my class work. So it's has to be managed in my gradebook. So what I'm going to do is navigate over here to the gradebook to show you. What you can see here, when I get into the gradebook or into the gradable items view here, you can see here that there's tons and tons and tons of stuff that the students will be doing. So we have our expository, compare, contrast, and argument essays. These are Turnitin links, which automatically go into the gradebook. You could see that there's topic assessments from CSU Writes. We have CSU Writes practices. And then there should be also quizzes and short assignments. Those are kind of the miscellaneous, and that category will grow. You can see here that I've labeled all of these categories. So what this means is you can set in the BlackBoard Gradebook grade assignments to go into a big bin. So if I have CSU Writes or quizzes and short assignments as 10% of my grade, right? I can assign the percentage to the category rather than the specific item. So here, everything that is labeled with a quiz and short assignment is comprised of 15% of the grade. Right? That contributes to 15% of the grade. Whatever goes to CSU Writes, it consistently is also 15% of the grade. The essays themselves are their own category. So expository is, I think, 15%. Compare contrast is 20%. Argument is 25%, or whatever that percentage is based on the syllabus. The percentage is then assigned to the category, not just to the actual artifact. So this gives you some good flexibility. So this means that you can have an unlimited number of actual artifacts in a category. So if you have 7 quizzes or 15 quizzes or 20 quizzes, it does not matter because the gradebook will average those things together in a method that you specify and put that 15% into your final grade. Likewise, you can have multiple aspects, multiple artifacts within each essay, as long as they're labeled with the same as the same category. You can average drafts, you can take the highest grade in the category, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So these categories are usually set up in this settings over here. So you can see, all right, and this is a grade schema, right? So grade categories, groups of similar coursework, so you can add whatever you want. The default are attendance, exam, homework, presentation, quiz, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I made my own categories for what I assess in English 101. I made one for CSU Writes. I made one for CSU Writes practice. And in the core CSU Writes application, these things will automatically be set. Like I already labeled all the assignments with CSU Writes practice and CSU Writes, so that if you're using this method, you can easily integrate it into your final grade schema. So our categories over here, these are basically the elements that go into the final grade for me. So participation, CSU Writes, compare, contrast, expository, argument, quiz, and short assignments. When I do my writing process analysis, I put in the quiz and short assignments category. All right, so how does it work? How does the overall grade calculation work? So I'm going to click here. Usually there's a link. Actually, let me point here. It should give you a over here in the settings. You can go to overall grade, and you could say you can manage your overall grade settings. since I already did this, it's already an item. So now, here is what is interesting. Right, so you can see here that all my grade categories, all right, can be set based on the grade category. So here, CSU Writes is locked in at 15% of the grade. All right, so, and then my quizzes and short assignments, again, 15% of the grade. And within each category, we can either have proportional weighting or equal weighting. So for CSU Writes, every topic assessment that they do, all 26 topic assessments, are assessed as part of that average. So they're weighted equally. So if I wanted to weight some of them more strongly, we could do that as well. But here, everything that goes into CSU Writes, everything tagged with the CSU Writes category, goes in as 15% of the grade. Same thing with quiz and short assignments. So whatever goes into quiz and short assignments, right now there's only 7 items. That grows as the course goes. I use quiz and short assignments as drafts, outlines, any different work products, and those get added to the course as we go on. So it's kind of a catch-all. So here we have argument, compare, contrast, expository, 25, 20, and 15. All right, that's anything that goes into those essays, again, is tagged with that same category. So you can see here that we can alter these percentages pretty easily. All we have to do is unlock them, and we can change the weightings as we see fit. If we want to do more participation, if we want to switch the compare, contrast, expository, the quiz and short assignment, whatever, is pretty easy to do. So I'm going to delve into the expository essay real quick. And you can also zero out these pretty easily. All you have to do is click the no symbol here, and that will zero it out to 0. So let's just say in the expository essay, we all do multiple drafts. So I like to have a way to account for multiple drafts within the expository essay category. So here what we can do is we can enable a category calculation rule, right? So we can, within that 15%, we can do some say we collect 2 or 3 drafts of the expository, but we want to grade the highest one, right? So here we can either take the highest score of the 3 drafts, all right? So here, the highest score for that expository essay, the highest draft grade, is the one that gets the assignment. And again, you can do anything you need. You can edit them. You want to have 2 or 3 drafts and they're averaged together, that's the default. If you want to drop the lowest of the 3 drafts, that's fine too. We have lots and lots of flexibility here. I always drop the lowest couple grades for quizzes and short assignments, just to because I don't let people make them up. But I take the lowest 2 and drop them off the edge of the score at the end of the semester, just because sometimes people, they forget. I give a little bit of flexibility in that. All right. So these 15%, all of that totals up to 100. And once we save it, right, it locks in. So you see here, all of these other aspects, I don't really do journaling. I don't usually do discussion boards on face-to-face classes. And I don't necessarily have to use assignments because I've made my own category. All right, but these things are pretty easy to do. So if you're doing points, I don't want to change everything, but you can see that I think for CSU Writes, there's 455 actual points you can use. You just have to alter your total points in the course if that's what you want to calculate as. So I'm happy to go through this with you in person. I know it's a little counterintuitive at times. It took me a little while to figure it out. But once you do this, it does save you a bunch of work. So hopefully this is somewhat helpful for y'all. Please let me know if you need any more assistance.